Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Brandon Krasowski.
And I'm Addison Deal.
In today's episode, find out how you can get tickets to one of the biggest Broadway shows around.
And how you can get involved in a theater company right here on campus. Stay tuned for our interview with Ghostlight Theater Company's social media coordinator, Brittany Stasiak.
And let's not forget, our reporters Carlo Andrassi and Samuel Parator are here to tell you about this week's latest political and sports news.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now. Welcome back. Here's your campus news, starting with your weekly weather update with Alexa Shawless.
Thanks, Addison and Brandon. The beginning of this week is going to have temperatures that are similar to what we're used to during a Pittsburgh winter, ranging from the mid-20s to low 30s. But it seems that we've hit a stroke of luck, as later in the week, we'll be seeing weather that resembles spring, a lot more closer than winter. Expect temperatures in the mid-50s as we funnel down to the end of the week. This increase in temperature may not remain for long, so make sure that you soak up all the sun while Pittsburgh still allows it. During the beginning of the cooler part of the week, the skies are looking fairly consistent with partially cloudy weather, In tandem with the warmer temperatures, though, expect rain showers on Thursday and Friday. As of now, it doesn't appear to be any chances of snowfall, but that is subject to change. That's it for your weekly weather update. Now let's hand it over to reporter Samuel Parator for this week's CAB update.
Thanks, Alexa. After a very busy week for CAB last week, this upcoming one is a little bit lighter, but still exciting. We start off on Monday, lovely Valentine's Day, with a little open mic night in Point Park from 7 to 9 p.m. So please, for the love of music, I hope to see you there. Following that, on Tuesday, we have our classic annual Condom Carnival. That's right. It's time to take cover from 9 to 11 p.m. in the 5th floor of the Student Center gym. There will be games, candy, and of course, free condoms, so stop on by. Lastly, for the week, on Thursday, we have this month's Late Night Bingo Pop Culture Edition from 9 to 11 in the Lawrence Ballroom. Join us for our monthly bingo fun and try to win some trendy prizes. That's all for this upcoming week. Hope to see you at some of the events. Now, let's send it back to our hosts.
A condom carnival, that sounds like quite the event.
Yeah, for sure. And like he said, make sure you take cover on whatever is about to unfold there. But how about that weather?
Yeah, the weather. It's going to be warm outside. I like the warm weather.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's a lot better than what we were a couple weeks ago in the 20s. I mean, that was terrible.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the sun being out and be able to walk outside without a big winter jacket, all that fun stuff.
No longer have to cover up. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But thanks for that update, Sam and Alexa.
Now let's dive into the news that matters most, starting with this week's campus news.
Point Park University celebrated its first ever Myron Cope Day on Monday, February 7th. Myron Cope, also known as the voice of the Pittsburgh Steelers, was a well-known sports broadcaster in our area. He passed away in February 2008, but his life will continue to be celebrated here at Point Park. The event was held from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. in 200 Lawrence Hall. Many guest speakers were involved, including Pittsburgh News sports directors Albie Oxenrider and Andrew Stockey.
Point Park University is presenting an opportunity for all students to get involved in the Ghostlight Theater Company, the first SAEM student-led theater company. The Ghostlight Company will be putting on many productions, including a 24-hour play festival, as well as features at events like Point Park After Dark. The company is run by Zachariah Washington, Artistic Director, Kelsey Geary, Managing Director, and a board of SAEM and COPA students, including our reporter Sam Parator. Interested students can reach out to Zach or Kelsey via email and on Instagram at GhostlightPPU. Stay tuned for more information, as later in our show we have an exclusive interview with Brittany Stasiak, Ghostlight's social media coordinator.
A new major will be offered for Point Park students. Beginning in the fall 2022 semester, a Bachelor of Arts degree in broadcasting will be available for all students. There will be two variations of the degree. one specializing in broadcast reporting and the other focusing on broadcast production. Previously, students were offered bachelor degrees in journalism centering on either broadcast production or media management. If you are interested in changing your major for the future semester, please contact your academic advisor. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we actually used to have a broadcast reporting major?
I think we did, but they got rid of it eventually and then changed it to journalism with a focus in broadcaster reporting. But I'm glad that they brought it back. I'll be changing my major to broadcast reporting.
As will I. I guess they figured that, writing is very important when it comes to any aspect of, broadcast or journalism or anything like that. But it's nice to have something that, we specialize in.
Yeah, very narrowed down, so you're learning specifically things that you're going to be doing in your career.
Exactly. After the break, find out the most recent news regarding Pittsburgh's status as a potential host for the City of the Republican National Convention.
And we'll let you know about a new initiative to benefit children in Pittsburgh public schools.
Don't forget, our reporters Carlo Andreassi and Samuel Parator are ready to give you this week's political sports news.
Plus, stay tuned for our interview with Brittany Stasiak of the Ghostlight Theater Company.
Don't go anywhere, Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, and welcome back to Newsnight. Most of the student body of the Pittsburgh Public School.
Some of the United States allies.
Thursday, the FBI was seen raiding.
Let's get started with today's forecast.
Today's high will only reach about 31 degrees.
It's looking a little cooler than we've seen in the past few weeks.
All this and more,
All this and more
All this and more coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
coming up on Newsnight.
Welcome back to Daybreak.
Without further ado, here is your city news.
The famed Broadway show Hamilton is no stranger to the Benedum stage, and the show will return once again February 22nd to March 13th. While many tickets are sold out, the Trust's Vice President of Marketing, Communications, and Broadway Programming announced that additional seating will become available closer to the show dates. As well, there will be a lottery for $10 seats for each show. After a sold-out run in 2019, don't miss your chance to catch a show this year.
The Republican National Convention is no longer being considered to be held in Pittsburgh. According to KDKA, the RNC announced on Friday, February 4th, that Pittsburgh had been pulled from the list. The bid was signed last year by Visit Pittsburgh. When Mayor Ed Gainey took office, he initially signed the bill as a, quote, matter of procedure, end quote. The news comes as a relief for many city Democrats who feared mass protest of the event. With Pittsburgh being off the list, only 3 potential host cities remain, which are Salt Lake City, Nashville, and Milwaukee.
Mayor Ed Gainey partners with Interim Superintendent Wayne Walters in an initiative that will benefit public schoolers in the Pittsburgh area. This initiative, named Fresh Start for the Head and Heart, will provide much improved academic and emotional support for all students. This initiative was announced at Miller Pre-K through 5 the morning of February 2nd, which will greatly benefit from the initiative after a string of violence. The initiative was officially started in all public schools in the district on Wednesday, February 3rd.
You know, Ed Gainey, if you'd like, you can bring some of that mental support to here. 'Cause a lot of us college students are kind of, we're having a rough time right now.
Yeah, you know, college, super stressful for everyone.
You know, it's like after week 3, we go from like, everything's just fine and we're just kind of having a good time to bam,
Yeah.
everything at once. You have a ton of assignments lined up, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then every break is just a saving grace.
Every break, and somehow our break is kind of spring, kind of not.
Kind
if you
of.
want to call it spring break, but you know what? It's still a break.
Yeah, we still get to leave, you know.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Coming up after the break, we have this week's Ray of Sunshine.
Well, PolitiSmack, your political news with reporter Carlo Andreassi, and here this week's Sideline Slice with reporter Samuel Parator.
Not to mention, it's almost time for our interview with Brittany Stasiak.
Stay tuned, Daybreak. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Daybreak. My name is Sam Parator, here to give you a slice of the action with Sam's Sideline Slice. The conference championships are over, and that means the big game is here. That's right, the Superb Owl is this week, and here are the teams that will be vying for that Lombardi Trophy. Out of the AFC, the shocking Cincinnati Bengals, which no one expected to be in this position after last year. The young cast of stars, including QB Joe Burrow, wide receiver Jamar Chase, wide receiver T. Higgins, and kicker Evan McPherson, will travel to Los Angeles and SoFi Stadium to take on the NFC champions Los Angeles Rams and their veteran cast of stars, including quarterback Matthew Stafford, wide receivers Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr., defensive end Aaron Donald, and linebacker Von Miller. This is going to be a very tall task for the Bengals, but they are sure up for the challenge, and this matchup is going to be very exciting. Staying on the topic of football, the time has finally come. After reporters jumped the gun a couple weeks ago, the man himself has finally confirmed the news. That's right, Tom Brady, longtime quarterback for the New England Patriots and most recently the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has officially announced his retirement after 22 seasons. Love him or hate him, you cannot deny that he was the greatest to step on the football field. Brady retires while holding more than 17 NFL records. Big game appearances and wins, games started and won, most passing yards and most passing touchdowns, just to name a few. Even though he basically owned the Steelers throughout his career, it will admittedly be quite weird to not see him on the field. So thanks for the memory, Tom, even though most of them weren't that great. Now let's send it off to Carlo Andreassi for this week's PolitiSmack.
Thanks, Sam. I'm Carlo Andreassi, and this is PolitiSmack. In the morning of Thursday, February 3rd, the Biden administration conducted a raid in Syria, which led to the death of the leader of ISIS, as well as several civilian casualties. The United States has been militarily involved in the Syrian civil war for 9 years now, President Obama first sending military aid to government rebel groups in 2013. A similar raid to the one last week happened in Syria in 2019, when President Trump had the former leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, killed. The new leader of ISIS, Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Quraishi, was killed in this raid along with multiple Syrian civilians. There is no official word on how many civilian casualties, but the Pentagon reported that, quote, at the beginning of the operation, the terrorist exploded a bomb that killed him and members of his own family, including women and children. Reportedly, the raid was actually unsuccessful. The raid was actually unsuccessful in its mission, halted by al-Quraishi's conducting of explosives himself. Biden argued that he chose to use special forces instead of air missiles for the operation in order to minimize civilian casualties, ultimately placing the blame on al-Quraishi for the civilian deaths. Nonetheless, the White House is celebratory about the raid, Biden saying, quote, "Thanks to the bravery of our troops, this horrible terrorist leader is no more." And Press Secretary Jen Psaki saying that it was a, quote, "catastrophic blow to ISIS." That's all for this week's PolitiSmack. Now let's head back to your hosts.
Thank you, Carlo. Coming up after the break, our interview with Brittany Stasiak on Ghostlight Theater Company.
And we'll send you off with this week's Ray of Sunshine. Don't go anywhere. It's like a
40% of food in the United States is never eaten. At the same time, 1 in 8 Americans is struggling to put enough food on the table. Before you let your food go bad or throw your leftovers in the garbage, think about your options. To learn more about food waste and how you can reduce food waste at home, visit www.nrdc.org/issues/food-waste.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Daybreak. Ghostlight Theater Company is the newest of Point Park's student-organized initiatives to expand the arts. Today, I'm joined by Brittany Stasiak, the social media coordinator for Ghostlight. So, what is the Ghostlight Theater Company?
So, Ghostlight Theater Company was started by the SAM club, or just a bunch of SAM students who wanted to branch out and start a theater company for our SAM major. Zachariah and Kelsey are the two people who started it. They are involved with SAM, with COPA, and they wanted to bring all of us together to be able to have that theater branch as well as our music and our sports branches.
That's nice. So is there any plans for productions coming up?
So we do have this weekend actually, February 18th and 19th. We have the 24-hour play festival where students can come and for 24 hours they write a play of their choice, however they want to make it. Then the students the next day perform it for the audience of anyone who wants to come and watch. And we also have March 21st and 22nd. We are putting on with the SAM Club the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which has been long awaited as they haven't been able to do it in a couple of years because of COVID. So we're very excited to put that production back on.
That sounds like so much fun. So there's obviously a lot of cool productions coming to play. Is there something specifically that you're super excited for?
I'm definitely very excited for Rocky Horror. I have never personally been a part of the production anywhere else, but I do love the movie musical adaptation of it, so I'm very excited to put that production on.
That sounds like so much fun. So how can students get involved and join either as in the production aspect or the acting aspect?
Well, if you want to just follow us on Instagram, GhostlightPPU, you'll be able to go into our bio where we have our link tree, and right there you can just sign up. You put your name, you put an email we can contact you at and what you're interested in. You can put as many interests as you want, and we'll contact you about that later on.
All right, well thank you so much, Brittany.
Yeah, of course.
Now it's time for this week's Ray of Sunshine.
In case this is your first time joining us or you need a refresher, Ray of Sunshine is our way of starting your day with a smile and an inspirational quote.
This week's quote reflects on a value that each of us should share in our lives: kindness.
The quote comes from Harold Kushner and reads, "Do things for others not because of who they are or what they will do in return, but because of who you are."
Kindness is always a very good value to have, like, in a person. You don't want to do things that will give you a good image because they'll give you a good image. You want to do things because they're the right thing to do.
Yeah, so when you buy someone a Christmas gift, I mean, it's been a while since Christmas, but, you know, you really shouldn't expect anything in return. You know, you're doing it in a kind gesture and not just because you want something, you know.
Exactly.
And that's really the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
That's it for Daybreak. Thanks so much for watching.
You can catch clips from all of our previous Daybreak episodes on our YouTube at YouView Television.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Daybreak PPU. I'm Brandon Krasowski.
And I'm Addison Dio, hoping your news is good news. Have a great day, everyone.